Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on when you're tuning in. Welcome back to another episode of Free Time with MW Free. Today we have a guest that I've known for quite some time now, actually, and I know him as Camera King's Nate, but he has now ventured out to do so many different things, and that's what we're going to talk about. So, welcome, Camera King's Nate.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Free. I love your show.
Thank you.
This is a beautiful place.
Thank you. He's calling it a woman's paradise. It's the opposite of a man cave.
Exactly.
It's a woman's podcast.
Great. Too bad you guys can't smell how nice it is in here. Beautiful.
But this is the way it should be. But hi, Nate. How are you?
I'm well.
How's your week going?
It's going well. It was a busy weekend, but
you're a busy man.
Getting ready for the next weekend again.
You're a very busy man. That's what we're going to talk about.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So, Camera King's Nate. When did you pick up a camera?
I started doing photography going on 12, maybe 13 years now. Started when I was 20.
Okay.
About 13 years.
Are you telling your age? But it's fine.
Yeah, I started. Yeah, I'm getting up there. But I started a while ago,
please.
And I'm very happy.
Still young.
I am, right? The journey has been excellent. I'm very proud of the progress we've made. Photography put me onto a lot of things. I met you through photography. I've met
that
so many different people.
Yes, you did meet through photography.
I've met so many different people, and it helped me branch out to, get the opportunity of not only networking, meeting people, being creative, all in one, and came a long way from just starting taking pictures at events.
But how did you even pick up the camera? What inspired you to do that?
Originally, I remember at that age when you're trying to figure out what you're going to do after school, trying to figure out which way to go. I used to always be the one taking pictures at my family events, all the time. And I remember my aunt telling me, hey, I need you to get a camera and do this. Because I used to do it back when you had the little cheap cameras, the little point and shoots. The little point and shoot cameras. Yeah, exactly. I used to go around all my family events taking pictures with that.
And clicking and shushing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I remember a few people putting into my head, you do it at all the family events.
Maybe you should,
maybe you should take it serious. And then I remember working for somebody kind of freelancing just to get my feet wet because I was so hungry for opportunity. And then my partner, still to this day, Lex, was the one that pulled me aside and told me, if you're really serious about this, let's do it. Put a camera, a professional SLR in my hand, taught me how to use it, helped me get clientele, send me out there to do some work. And then ever since then, I just never looked back.
Never looked back.
Never looked back. Somebody gave me an opportunity, I just took advantage of it. I've been snapping since then. And what ended up happening is photography ended up turning into building my own company, started my own website. And then eventually...
So the company is Camera Kings.
Camera Kings. We started Camera Kings together. We started building our own website. We had clientele like crazy because of referrals and people that really been showing love over the years. And then that ended up turning into videography. Because, the demand for video has gone through the roof.
Yes. So everyone wants a video now.
Everybody wants a video.
Because it's a new social thing. Before it was only pictures, and now we have video. Everybody wants video as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially since social media can show both now. So expanding into videography, then the video market was crazy now. So the video demand went up. And then from there, I wouldn't say that I got tired of it, but I was doing it for so long.
Yeah.
I was looking for another stream of income, another opportunity, different opportunity. And I was just hungry for growth because I was doing it for so long. I felt like I was starting to outgrow it. And then that's when I started shopping around for to get into the event space industry.
Right. I remember the first event space I came to of yours a while back, and I was like, oh, this is Nate's. And now you ventured out to huge buildings. So let's start with the first one.
Definitely.
Right.
The very first one was my family's home that I still live in to this day. My grandmother owned that house almost 50 years now. And
yes, keep that house.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep that house.
What happened originally is my grandmother saw that I was so serious about photography. She offered me the basement of the house to use as a photo studio.
Okay.
And I used to do if some people might remember back before. Now the house is fully renovated. It's beautiful. But before then, the older house was crazy. The basement was a straight dungeon. It looked crazy, scary as hell.
And you used to put up your backdrop.
And I used to put up my backdrop with the shoots right there. Granny gave it to me. We gotta make it work.
Listen, y'all gonna like this today.
Some of my clients would probably remember back then.
Right.
Then fast forward, it ended up being she paid to get the house fully renovated. And before she got the renovation done, she asked me which part of the basement would you want to make your photo studio. I'm leaving the whole basement to you. And they redid the basement. It's beautiful. And I was doing photo shoots in the basement, and then my clients would come down and be like, "Oh my God, this is
so nice.
This is so nice.
I've been there. It's very nice. It is nice. I've been there, so I know it's nice."
I kept asking the same question, like, "Hey, you know, do you rent this out?" And I'm like, "No, this is my photo studio.
And it's my house, not really."
I remember we had my niece's birthday party down there, and then ever since then, my phone just never stopped ringing. Like I remember, like it was yesterday. After that birthday party, I finally decided. I asked my grandmother. I said, "Granny, so many people keep asking me to do events. I'm turning it down. Do you think I should do it?" And she's like, "Well, are they gonna pay you?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Okay, then do it."
Well, then do it.
So I got her blessings, and then I just never looked back.
Never looked back.
I remember I put up one post about having it available for rent, and my phone never stopped ringing since then. And then I remember we was booked for the whole year, like every single weekend for the whole entire year. And that amount of growth that fast made me realize that I was onto something.
So we go from the basement,
yes,
to your first big studio.
Now the basement was a little limited, so other people would come and ask me, "Do you have? This is nice, but do you have any place bigger that could hold more people?" And that's
you went all the way big. When you were like, "No, I'm not gonna go. I'm just gonna go all the way big."
It took some time. I felt like I took some steps, the proper steps. But
so the space that you got.
Yes, the current one is humongous.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
But originally, what happened was I was actually searching from the basement to my first actual commercial storefront. I was searching for years. I was searching for 3 years. Time just flies by, but I remember talking about it, like going through so many highs and lows. I remember almost signing different leases for different commercial spaces 3 different times before I got the space that I actually ended up getting next. But I went through some stuff. I learned a lot.
It was blocked for a reason.
It was. It actually wasn't meant for me.
Look at what you have now. Exactly.
It really wasn't meant for me, so I'm actually grateful for all of that. And after 3 years of searching, talking about it, networking, like going out, I stepped foot in like maybe 40, 50 different commercial spaces all across Brooklyn. And a lot of the places that I was actually in looking to rent or lease as a commercial space is events venues now. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, we have seen how, the pandemic has changed Brooklyn and how everywhere is now an event space.
Yes, it's true. It's all over the place.
There's so many different event spaces that are available now that we didn't know about for years before.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Back then I went through some stuff. So I finally ended up getting my next actual storefront commercial space was on Atlantic. King Studios on Atlantic right now. Yes. And I always tell the story about it. What happened is I was so frustrated about not going through with the space for so long. I was supposed to sign a lease. It didn't work out. And I remember saying a prayer while searching for event space, commercial spaces. I said a prayer that night. I was searching all night long. And then I woke up in the morning and my laptop was still open on the website. I refreshed the website and the first thing that came up on the top was King Studios right now. I'll never forget that. That was some powerful stuff. And yeah, so I ended up getting after 3 years of searching, built it up, made it nice, and then the same problem happened again. It got booked up for the whole year, and then a lot of people who were coming in was like, "This is nice, but do you have something bigger?
Do you have another space?
Do you have another space that's bigger?" Yeah,
I mean, and King Studio was a big space, so for someone to want something bigger, it's just like, really?
People wanted more than that.
But then we went bigger.
Here we go again.
We went bigger and better.
So this time I actually wasn't searching because I'm like, now y'all wilding. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that market. That's too many people, So I'm like, I'm happy, content with what I got going on. Because at this point, I'm doing photography. I'm doing videography. I have not one space in my basement, but a second space on Atlantic. So I'm like, I'm busy as hell. I got mad stuff going on. I don't want another place. So, so I used to refer a lot of clients who wanted the bigger space to other places to go. And then I really wasn't searching. I swear, me and my girl just driving, minding our business. And we at the stop sign and I look up and I see this big, nice space that was a space for years, for like 7 years. I did photography there many times with a for rent sign on it. And I'm like, get the heck out of here. They went out of business? And I just called the number, spoke to the landlord. He told me what was what. And the price was just too good. I just took it. I just came.
You didn't even think about it.
I didn't even think about it. It was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer because it was already a space for so long in the same industry. There wasn't really much to do. It wasn't much to think about. Correct, and it was a beautiful, excellent, very well-run, Black-owned establishment that I already knew of well. So it was really a no-brainer. The price was excellent. This was actually in the middle of the pandemic when
because I remember hearing that this space was open and I was like, I've never been to this space before in my life. Who owns this? Who owns this? And then I found out it was you. I was like, Nate owns this?
I got it in the middle of the pandemic. Like really just like I didn't even make no announcements. I just was doing the transaction, doing the business, and I got it. And the only reason it was even available at all was because of the pandemic. Wow. If it wasn't for the pandemic, it would have never even been available because they were doing so well for so long. They had it for 7 years before I got it.
Before you got it.
So the pandemic ended up being, that's why I say sometimes the pandemic
was a real
gift for some people and a curse for others.
I was going to ask, it seems as though the pandemic has helped you and boosted your business versus the other direction. So, it's a blessing in disguise. So.
I actually did. Because I'm a full-time entrepreneur, it's 100% entrepreneurship for me. So when the pandemic hit, that's 3 months straight, I had absolutely no income. So what I did was, I never really got no help from the government. I didn't get unemployment. I didn't get stimulus. I didn't get none of that stuff. But what happened is, I kind of hard-headed in a way where obviously they told us to stop doing this or stop doing that, and I didn't stop. I still was having my low-key events.
Do what I gotta do.
I had to do what I had to do to pay bills and stay afloat and keep my family, having this lifestyle that we live. We got to maintain it. Yeah. So I had to do what I had to do. So at one point, I was turning down everything because people actually still wanted to do stuff, but I was turning it down out of safety concerns, and I was worried, and everybody was so scared to do everything at that point, especially businesses.
Yes.
But I started to realize after 3 months of having no money, there's nobody coming to save me.
No.
There's no one coming to save me. And to rely on the government or anyone else to save the day is naive. And a lot of businesses thought they would be saved by the government. They're gone now.
That's very true. There are corner stores that shut down.
Yes.
And you would never think that in Brooklyn
even goes out of business,
that you would see a corner store go out of business because of this. So
absolutely,
I do understand.
So I did what I had to do, but I saved every cent because of going 3 months without making no money. It started turning you crazy. So I saved every dime that came in. I was saving it all. Next thing you know, I turned around, I had like 15 grand in my bank account. Just grinding and just wasn't even looking at it. I just looked, I was like,
which is the smart thing to do. He's broke, guys. Okay? He took the money, he reinvested it. So don't watch.
I reinvested everything that
he reinvested everything back into the venues. All right?
And that's how I ended up getting the third one.
Yes.
And maybe I shouldn't say that I wouldn't get another one.
I was going to be like, all right, so the fourth is coming.
The fourth, okay, let me just say this, because this is something. When I was searching for venues, I was talking about it for years, but nobody really listened to me because I wasn't in the space, so they thought I was nuts.
Yes.
Now, I already have 3 venues, and I've helped many other owners get their spaces event spaces that they have currently. The next thing, and I have no problem saying publicly because I really want to see this, even if it's not me.
Okay.
The next thing that we really need as Black people is a Black-owned wedding venue. I mean, a huge, nice, beautiful one. Like, you see how every other culture has their own really big
like
one?
That,
we need our
actually. I like that idea.
And it doesn't matter if it's me or not. I just want to see it.
In Brooklyn?
Absolutely. I would love for it to be in Brooklyn or anywhere in the tri-state.
But Brooklyn is so hard to find huge space in Brooklyn, period.
It is.
Though.
But anywhere
Isn't
in the
it?
tri-state, it is.
Where do you think that you'd be able to even if you think of an area in Brooklyn that could have a Black-owned space like that, like what area? I'm trying to think right now. What area do you think that we'd be able to even have such a large?
There's actually still a lot of big factories and big space in Red Hook. Many big
okay. You're right.
A lot of the businesses gone, so they have factories just sitting out empty. There's a lot of huge ones out there. There's also a lot of space. There's still space in Williamsburg. Plenty of space in Williamsburg.
Okay.
And if you can't do it in Brooklyn, then at least the tri-state area. Because what I found
maybe to like a Queens or something. Okay.
So what I found recently is that, not even recently, it's been a while. Every time I have a client that's doing a wedding and they're Black, they search high and low for a Black-owned wedding venue and they can't find one. They can't find one. It kind of don't even exist.
I'm really planning. I was going to say fake planning, but we paused because we extended, blah, blah. But I'm helping, my best friend and his fiance plan a wedding right now as well. And venue shopping is
difficult, very. Very. So
I mean, she's been looking, and then with all the restrictions right now because of COVID, I mean, that's why they ended up deciding to extend the wedding for another year. Hopefully, we'll be a little bit more open and be able to have the big wedding that they both want and that we're ready to have. But it's very hard. It is very hard. It's really, really hard.
And I feel like us as a people, nobody celebrates better than us. Nobody. I always go to these white-owned wedding venues. They're 30,000, 40,000, and it's just not us.
It's not the same.
It's not.
Yeah. It's never going to be the same. When it comes to us.
It don't got the right sauce. It don't have the right ingredients.
You know what I'm saying? You got to add some pepper sauce in there. Right. It's very different. Some jerk in there.
I've been to Indian-owned wedding venues. I've been to Asian-owned wedding venues. I've been to Italian owned one, and everybody seems to have this huge, beautiful space where they can do whatever they want with
and
no problem.
And they don't utilize
except
it as much.
us.
Yeah.
We don't have one of those. So that's what I really want to see, and that's kind of like one of my biggest goals as far as the industry is concerned. If I could create that, and I mean beautiful, I want it to be amazing. Like I'll be looking. So
then that's gonna be venue 4.
That's the next one.
That is going to be venue 4.
If it's
He said it here first, guys. So look out for it.
I did, and even if I feel like if I can do that, then I could say I did everything that I needed to do.
Oh, I like that.
Everything else I've taken care of. That's
your biggest thing.
But then I still have so much work to be done as far as events, photography. I opened up a photography studio. We just started 360 booth rentals. We've done.
Yes, I want to talk to you about that too. So how did you even discover that?
That one, I have to give credit to my partner Lex, because he started the photo booth part of our company. Okay. Because the photo booths were getting really, really popular. He was actually early with that too. He was like, "Yo, get on this photo booth." So I was like, "We got so much photography and videography." No, but listen, you drop one of the things in a party. And it's lines to get to it. Yes, right. I know. That's what I'm saying. You drop one of those things into a party and everyone's having a blast. Shout out to my partner Lex, because I gotta give him his credit. A lot of things he did before it got popular, and he was talking to me about this a long time ago, and I wasn't trying to hear it, but he was right. And now you see the whole photo industry has been amazing. And then once the 360 booth came out, he was early with that too. So he jumped on it from early, and now we have 2 different 360 booths, and the third one. I love it. Everybody wants it. It's all over the place. It's hot like fire. Every big event needs to have it. Should have one. But that's another thing that it pretty much like Lex did it. The schedule just got crazy. He's like, "Oh, we got to get another one," because there's too much events for just one. The demand for it is so high. Yeah. So then I ended up doing it out of necessity to help him. So that's how I ended up getting into that also. That's super dope. But yeah, the industry has been good. My clientele has been very loyal, very faithful. My referral rate is pretty high. I've been very blessed, and I feel like a big thing that helped all of this was getting into entrepreneurship from young. Yes. Because like I said, I started around my 20s, and I've grown with my clientele. I've literally have very strong relationships with my, I don't even like calling them clients, because so many of them have come to family. Some of them are like friends and family. Really exactly. I mean, we known each other for a long time. Years now. If I go to any events, I know all the people. Yeah, exactly. But the same people been around. You're going to see this. Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Definitely. It's one of the most pleasurable things about growing as an entrepreneur, even being in business. It's a journey. It's a roller coaster. Yes. But some of the people that stand by you, do it all, you really realize it's not right to call your client a friend, a customer. Right. It really become family. I love that. Family. So is that a piece of advice that you would give to anyone that's looking to pursue entrepreneurship on a whole? Tell them one thing. If it's one thing I would say is just be a person of your word. That take you far. Just take as far as you need to go. If you cannot do it, say you cannot do it. If it won't be on time, say I'm sorry, it won't be on time. Just keep your word. As simple as that is, so many people like to swindle people, finesse people, tricks, games, lies, unnecessary. There's so much times I'd be in a jam and I'd be like, "Yo, how the hell am I gonna get out of this?" And I'm like, "You know what? Just tell the truth." Just tell them. I mean, I have to do it all the time too. I fully understand. Yeah, the truth sets you free, and it ends up working like 100% of the 100 times. Even whether they're upset or not, at the end, they're like, "You know what? I appreciate you being honest." Yep. Because so many people aren't doing that, and they feel like they need to play games with people. So honestly, it'll take you as far as you need to go. Once you're honest and people trust you, once you're honest, people will trust you. Once they trust you, they're gonna refer you to everybody. Yes. And you would never really have to worry about advertising and marketing, because your referral rate will just be through the roof. I like be consistent. I like it. Everything else follows. So I've learned a lot over the years, but I'm very, very grateful to grow and to have these opportunities to do other stuff. I even was talking about the other day. I was like, Free started. You came from far. Even when I see you started to do the clothing, I was like, your clothes is dope. I'm going to events, seeing people wearing your clothes. I'm like, okay, Free doing her thing. Thank you. You don't even got to see her, but you still see her clothes, and that's what matters. Thank you. That made brand, man. I rock with it. I respect that. And then this also, because I know the podcast isn't easy. Me and Lex actually gonna do a podcast in the middle of the pandemic. But what happened is, once we got everything together, we got all the equipment, we started scheduling shows, things started to open up. Right. So the other business we've been in for years. Right. You do what the phone rings for. Right. Of course, absolutely. Yeah. The demand went up. Doing this, it made sense based on just even doing radio before, and then coming back into this, especially during the pandemic. It seems like it's been high. Like everyone's doing a podcast now, but it was something I did before. It was a little different, but coming back into it, it's just meant to. This is 100% you. It's meant to. This is definitely your lane right here. Nobody can take that away from you. It don't matter how many podcasts it is. It's not free. So I'm team
You
free.
heard that here too.
I'm team free for sure.
Team free. Nah. But okay, so since we talk about your professional life, let's get a little personal. Like
Okay.
a little bit.
A little bit.
Like
no
a little
problem.
bit personal, you know?
No problem.
And the fun thing about this is not only will I ask you questions, you get to ask me questions too. So
Excellent.
it's fair. So choose your game that we have here. Anyone you want, and we'll get to playing.
Let me try this.
That is
Just
a fan.
'cause
That's
I
a
love
fan
black.
fave.
I love black. It's black.
You do
so
love
that's
black.
automatically
We were
why I
talking
choose
about that earlier. Everything, all black, everything.
everything.
This is a fan fave. Everyone seems to love this one. Guys, don't pay attention to my finger. I broke my nail yesterday in the car door, and it is.
I didn't even look at your finger till you mentioned it, but okay.
Because you know why? Every time I move my hand, I can feel it, and I'm like,
God. It's one of them things that got a heartbeat. Oh, my God.
oh yes, oh yes, that thing snapped so hard
Jesus Christ.
in
God
the
bless you.
door. But anyways, so okay, I'll mix these up a little bit.
How does this one work?
So what will happen is, so the question is so. Well, the name of the game is so, and then there's a question on the card.
Okay.
So, I will either ask you first, or you can ask me first, whichever you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
I know how to shuffle cards properly, guys. Yay. So, I'll spread it out here.
All them spades and
You,
things.
you know I don't know how to play spades.
I
Let's
don't
not talk
either.
about that. I
I
know
don't
my
either.
black card is going to be revoked in
I don't
2.2
know
seconds.
either, so the both of us.
Oh, good. I don't know how to play spades for my life. Don't judge me, guys. Or don't judge us.
Crazy eights?
Yes.
We do crazy eights.
I'll play
Okay,
crazy
cool.
eights.
So we're
I'll
not
play,
that bad.
and I'm a senior, so I'll play a little pity
We're
pat.
not that bad.
You know, a
Okay.
little rummy or whatever. But we're gonna play so. And you want to pick first, or you want me to pick first?
I'll pick first.
Okay, so you pick any card and ask me the question on the card, and I have to answer the question.
Got you.
I'm
Okay.
like hitting the mic.
I'm trying to grab this without
Yes,
messing up the rest of
anyone.
it.
Oh, mess up the deck. I don't know if they can see it. Oh, they can.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
Ready?
ready.
If your life were a video game, which level would be the most difficult to get through?
I don't play video games.
Me neither.
But
What
I
level
mean,
of
like-
your life would be difficult to get through?
Okay, so the video game that I played growing up, again, don't judge me, but I played Crash Bandicoot.
Lit.
I played Rocket Power. I loved Rocket Power. When I got a Game Boy, it was my first game I got was Rocket Power. And I would have to say, and I played card games. I love cards. But I don't know. I guess if I had to choose a game, it would have to be a card game and just doing my best to stay in top 3. Like,
What card game? You said cars?
Card
Like
games.
driving
Yeah, card
cars.
games.
Okay.
It would be that, or if it was Rocket Power, it would have to be like one of the high levels when I'm going through, like, if I can remember properly, like, because it was on the beach, so like going through like these sandcastle tomb thingies. I would say that, but I don't really play video games.
I'm not a video game person.
Yeah, I'm
either.
not a video game
Okay,
girl.
next. All right, my turn. I'm not a video game person.
Here we
either.
go.
You're not alone.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen this question. Here we go. Imagine we all had to start over on Mars, and you were responsible for choosing who gets to be part of Humanity 2.0. How would you decide on who to accept?
I get to decide who is to be a part of
Who
the
goes on
movement.
Humanity 2.0, and how do you decide who gets to come
Wow.
on Mars?
Do I have a certain amount of people to choose from?
I don't know, but it just
Wow.
says decide how these people are coming on Mars.
Okay, so damn, we gotta rebuild Mars from like scratch. So I'm gonna need some smart ass people, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
So
It's a whole new life.
wow. If I could just
Mars
simply,
2.0.
if I could just simply take all the lit black people and everybody else could stay here.
Okay, he said what he said.
Simple.
There you have it, people.
All the smart, beautiful, loving, caring black people.
All the
y'all
black
can come.
people. We all going.
The rest of y'all small-minded, shallow people, y'all can stay put.
Y'all can stay. That's
simple,
it.
Simple as that.
Simple. All right, so go.
Want to do one more?
Yeah, you pick.
No.
Let me do a couple.
Let me go over here.
All right, we're going to slide around. Let's see.
If you could give your parents advice on how to raise you, what would you tell them? Different. Mommy, you remember when you ain't get me that?
Not even. No.
I'm joking.
That's a tough one.
That's different. That's a
That's
very
a-
interesting question.
That's a toughie for me. If I was going to be very honest.
As you
which,
should.
You know, on free time, we are very honest.
As you
We're
should
very
be.
open. We're very clear about certain things. I would tell my dad to stick around.
To be real.
And I would tell my mom to be a little bit more open. Just a smidge more open.
Gotcha.
Yes. That's what I would tell her. I would tell my dad to stay and raise me. Anyways.
Right. Seems like we ended up just fine to me. Well, okay.
I mean,
got you.
Listen.
It all worked out.
Listen, she's still learning. I'm always learning, just saying, but that's what I would tell them. Have you ever had a breakup with a friend, and what was the reason?
Did I break up with a friend?
Mm-hmm. You never had a friend breakup? I've had one of those before.
Yeah, I've had a few.
Yeah.
I would say unofficial friend breakup because I don't remember having that conversation like, okay, we're not friends anymore.
Like stop.
Yeah, you just stop doing things that you used to do. You stop talking all the time. You stop calling all the time. It's just like,
so you guys had like
it's even weird
separation.
It's even weird to be like, okay, from now on you're my friend, and then you start the relationship, and then to be like, from today on you're not my friend anymore. To end it like.
I've had that. I've
weird.
had that.
You have?
Yeah.
I've never had that absolute like, okay, today is the last day I'm your friend. Like, I've never had that before.
I had that.
So you pretty much just stop communicating, stop talking like you used to. You stop hanging around each other, and that's pretty much that. You guys
kind of ghosted each other.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like at the end of the day, it happens. But most times, I won't even. Yeah, it's safe to say most times I feel like anytime a friend or somebody I was close to. We end up having that type of separation and we just outgrew each other.
Got you.
90% of the time. It's rarely I have any issues over petty stuff or like little, money, people, rare. It's really just overall.
Just life happens and then you just start to evolve and change and things.
Mentally.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not the same place. I'm not the same person I used to be. Entrepreneurship has taken over my life so much. So if you're not on the same path as me, it's hard for me to spend time with you like I used to. Most people I consider friends are other entrepreneurs. Because we talk about business.
Right,
we
exactly. There's a different level of understanding between the two.
Yeah, we can relate. So I have very few friends. A few friends I party with. Very rare because I already party.
Right.
I don't drink, so that's asked for that. I don't play sports. That's asked for that. A lot of stuff that I used to do, I don't do anymore.
Right.
So a lot of
it's literally like, hey, what business ventures can we talk about right
now? Exactly. That's really 90% of my time is ideas and acting on 90%
stuff. Of my time now.
For real. So that's how it ended up happening. But everybody I'm cool with now. I feel like we could really grow together because mentally we're on the same space.
I feel you now.
I'm pretty sure you can relate.
Yes.
Absolutely. So don't feel away.
These things have taken over my life. You're like, what are you doing? Looking at something for the show. What are you doing? Fulfilling orders. What are you doing?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to research something for. What are you doing?
And if you're not coming to help me,
what are you doing?
If you're not coming to help me, that's literally like I don't got time for you.
I get up. I'm on my computer. What are you doing? I'm doing an Excel sheet. What are you doing? I'm like.
That's exactly how it works. If you can help me with any of the above,
yeah, that's literally what it is.
Absolutely. Exactly. That's how it works. And anybody that I used to be close with or associated with, don't feel away. Just level up.
Understand.
Right. Level up, grow up, do some stuff.
We're going to do 2 more questions.
No problem.
Yeah.
I did that side. Let me go back to this side.
Oh, wait, you asked me the last one or I asked you?
You just asked
I asked you. Okay.
So it's your turn. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going back to this side.
Oh, you're going to come back to this side.
When was the last time you laughed uncontrollably?
Recently, actually, funny enough, on Clubhouse.
On Clubhouse. I've actually never been on that.
Huge on Clubhouse. We love Clubhouse. We love my Clubhouse room. Shout out to
you got a Clubhouse room?
Yeah.
Now I got to get on it. What's the Clubhouse room?
Well, we haven't made it an official. Well, maybe by the time this airs, we'll have it, but it's not an official club yet. But we have our consistent room. It's called Intellectual Assassins.
Intellectual Assassins.
Yes, with Africa and a couple other people that's in the room.
Nice.
Yeah, so always in that room. I think probably like last night we were laughing at one of our members. She was in there completely drunk and just cracking up, and we were just all cracking up. But y'all laugh on there all the time.
What a time! Yeah. Maybe I should join just to get.
No, when I tell you like. That's one of my not even a pastime. I'll stay on there all day long, but still work, so whatever, and we'll have, it's funny how
you can listen at your time.
Exactly, on your leisure, and it's just like, it just makes sense. So I sit in there all the time and get my work done, and we have our breaks and stuff. We're a mess, but shout out to you guys, I love them.
Team Clubhouse.
Right? It's okay. This is my last question for you. Oh, when did you first learn about race, and how did that change the way you saw people?
When did I first learn about race? That's an interesting question. Probably when I was much younger, I would say. I remember my cousin, my aunt and uncle bought a house in Jersey, and my cousin, they lived in Queens, and what's the name of this area? Flushing, Queens.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And while we're going to visit them, a lot of their friends would be like, they have white friends or they have Indian friends or like other race friends, especially white friends. And that's what was my first like interaction with them and starting to realize like they're different. I just noticed they get treated different, they talk different, they into different stuff. Like that was just like my first real interaction with them and starting to see like the difference between, because me, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, East New York. All my friends look like me. And then getting out of that environment, going to Flushing, Queens was a little bit different. And then actually moved to Jersey, which ended up being even way more white. Like white, for real. So I just remember just interacting with them and seeing how they was treated different, seeing that like how they speak different, they into different stuff. That was the first time I ever seen like, hey, you know, white people talking weird, like, hey, yeah, come on, Timothy, like, come to bed, or Timothy, can I go in your room? And,
come on, Timothy, like, yeah, I can't.
Your mom asking you permission to go in your room?
Go, what?
What? You got your own room?
Right. We know nothing about that life. About that.
Exactly. Like, are you nuts? Your mom don't ask you permission to go in your room? Like, the fact,
no closed doors in the house.
Absolutely. So it just the cultural difference was hard to ignore, and I noticed that when I was a kid. And then ever since then, like, I guess I was growing up in the environment that I was in, kind of made me think the whole world was like that until you start to travel.
Right.
And then also when I got older, I became a flight attendant. I got to travel the world, and that's what really expanded my mind and started to see how the world is much bigger than what's locally around you.
A friend of mine always tells me that the world is round.
It's round and it's huge. And go see it as much as possible.
Yep,
Absolutely.
The world is round. And I was like, what? But as, you know, time went on and he really explained what he meant by the world. And I now understand the world is round.
It's a very big place.
So, yes, it's a huge place.
Very big. Getting to see and experience different races and different cultures is probably one of the best things you could do in your life.
In your life, 100%. Because you have such a different understanding of what life is about other than, you know, what we know. Because even our culture is so different for people to difficult for people to understand like how we maneuver as New Yorkers and you know, as people who's migrated from the Caribbean and so on and so forth. People are like, what? Our culture is so different from other people.
And you're right. It's hard to understand if you never even was involved or took the time to try to understand.
I think we're one of the best, though. I'm just saying.
The best.
Facts?
Absolutely. 1,000%.
That is a major fact. 1,000%. But Mr. Cameron King's name, I always will forever call you Cameron King's name because that's how I know you.
That's why I started the brand at, so it worked.
Right? And like Cameron King's name. Like in my phone is Cameron King's name.
I always say, look at a tattoo, Cameron King's. Like,
you should.
And everybody be like, that name is genius. How did you come up with that?
Yeah.
Nobody else put those two
and
things
it's
together.
Cameron King's with a K, by the way. It's not Cameron King's C. It's Cameron King's K. So yeah.
2 Ks.
That's all I have.
Cameron King.
Cameron King. There we go. But thank you for spending some free time with me today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Tell the people where to find you.
So
how they can contact you for your venues.
My personal page is Cameron King's Nate. Sorry, Nate _ Cameron Kings. NATE _ Cameron Kings with a K. And then my venue page is kings.studios.bk on Instagram. And then I also have a website, also CameronKings.com.
There we go. You guys have it. Make sure you hit them up. If you need anything out here, we're in Brooklyn, New York.
Absolutely.
So we have photography, videography, and venues. Yes. All from this one man right here.
If you need me, link me.
There we go.
I appreciate your time so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for spending some time with me. And thank you guys for spending some free time with Free. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode.
Peace. Good night. Later, guys.
Good night.
Good night. Good day. Good afternoon. All that.
Good night. Good afternoon.